What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Always Race Day podcast presented by the Karl Auto Group. I'm Connor Ferguson here with Damon Helgevald and Josh Olmstead. We're going to be previewing the Indy 500. We're going to talk a little bit of dirt. We're looking at the Coca Cola 600 and a loaded weekend of motorsports ahead of us. But first, we got to thank our partners at the Karl Auto Group. If you have ever had a bad day like I have today and wanted to buy a car from the Karl Auto Group and put it in the river, I'm not sure which river is going to be the best option for you, but go and get you a car from those guys, because I got to say it was a great way to take my frustration out. And please, no one look into that any further. But yeah, we're here. We're talking racing. Well, for a little bit at least. Damon's going to leave at some point in the podcast. He's got another charity thing he's going to tonight. Would you say you were donating $1 million per goal that Vegas scores on Dallas in the next game?
Always supporting the kids, and one goal at a time. That's
right.
If it's anything like the last game, it won't be too damn hard.
You know what?
Might be broke.
You know what?
I will be one broke person. Just it's going to be extremely a rough time for my pocketbook.
You were talking about that thing that comes out of the closet.
What's that?
They say it when you win like 4 in a row against a team or something like that.
Oh, I don't have one of those out currently.
You don't? You should get it out.
No.
Oh, come on. No, do your broom dancing like you guys were doing on Twitter on Tuesday.
I never once did a broom dance. That was old Josh.
Oh, you liked the tweet of
damn right I did
of the said alleged broom dancing. That counts as dancing with them. Just because you didn't start the dance, you still win.
Just because you had a shitty day yesterday doesn't mean you need to take it out on the rest of us.
I had a shitty day today. Today was much worse than yesterday.
I don't know. You had a pretty bad day.
For many other reasons, but today freaking sucked. I've never woken up, felt like I got hit by a truck last night, and then for the next 3 hours wanted to be hit by an ensuing truck.
Well, that sounds rough. Don't know what happened. So my condolences.
That was all-star stuff. Everything after that still sucked, but it was different ways of sucking.
You really should choose a better team to root for. Like one that wins. By going up 3-0 before it's even halfway through the first period.
I don't know. Even if Vegas,
or even a baseball team that's above 500.
Even if Vegas beats the Stars, hold on, because even if Vegas beats Dallas in this series, they're 50-50. Yeah, it's not fucking over.
Well, it might as fucking well be.
I disagree.
I'm ready to do the dance.
We've won 4 games in a row before.
You're right.
Did it the last time we played you in the conference finals.
You're right, Connor.
No, I want you to drink your champagne over there.
You're right. You know what? The Stars, they are going to win the next game because they want to celebrate in Vegas anyway.
That's fine. No, we'll take that all day long. Yeah, please do that. The Stars play better when there's no fans in the stands. They proved that in the bubble. And God, the closest thing you can get to that is Vegas' arena. There's
Josh, I don't know.
Seats, no one makes noise.
Josh, I don't know. Did you watch the game at all last night?
I watched the first period, and then I called it over.
So you saw Mark Stone get his ass kicked.
After that, hey Connor, shut up for about 10 seconds.
I'm sorry. I watched the
very evident who on the ice is in a power position.
Hey, your team lost. Your team lost, so you should shut up. Listen, I don't know if you watched the second period at all, but he's talking about no fans in the stands. The second and third period, there was empty sections, let alone empty seats.
There was not, because all of them started throwing stuff on the ice at the end of the second.
Empty sections. Sections.
You expect to win with one of your best players suspended?
Yeah, how's that going to happen?
I would say that Jamie Benn's productivity is a loss, but I think fighting in his remembered spirit is almost more powerful.
He didn't die.
He might be a good basically dead. Suspended 2 games in the Western Conference Finals, down 3-0. He basically died.
He didn't die.
And he got suspended. He got kicked out of the last game. That should count as 1, at least.
It didn't. It did. You're right. It was supposed to be a 3-game
You guys
suspension.
got
They
a
gave
damn
him 2.
5-minute penalty. Could only score 1 goal off it.
Well, yeah.
On our goalie that has spurts of age.
I don't know if you know what the final score was, but only 1 goal is all we needed. We just put 3 others on there.
It's tough to count to 4 in Vegas, but it was pretty.
Actually, it's not. You should check the jail. There's a lot of people who know how to count. They count cards.
Has to be the wildest damn connection. I have one more thing to bitch at Damon about, and we'll get into racing. But it is so freaking insulting when I've given up on Tom Ricketts' own Cubs teams, and you send me a tweet saying it wasn't all bad. The Cubs won last night. That was so shitty.
They're winning right now.
They're great. Fucking awesome.
2 in a row.
One more closer to 60 and 102. That's my target mark.
Hey, you really should start celebrating for better teams. I can't say a whole lot on the baseball side of things, but everything else, well, I'm sorry.
I think the best sports entity I root for is Bobby Pierce.
Yeah, because Chase Elliott's not very good right now.
All my other teams suck.
My team is like having one of the first outstanding years in the last 10 years, and we're still second because we're in the same division as the Rays.
You're an Orioles fan?
I am.
God bless your soul.
It's been a rough few years.
Holy hell.
You know, every team in the AL East right now would be leading the AL Central.
Correct.
Okay, listen. Let's back off the AL Central. All right.
Oh, we'll back the bus right over the top.
Just because the last place team in the AL Central is the Kansas City Royals does not mean you have to back it over them.
Dude, Dawson, right?
Yeah.
Reading Dawson's tweets about the Royals is so depressing.
I quit tweeting about the
Royals. I'm just like, why are you still watching them?
I quit tweeting about the Royals because they don't deserve my tweets.
I will stay with the team and watch all 162, 82, whatever it may be, if I feel a sense that the owner and the people involved with the team are moving in the right direction. That said, I don't watch the Cubs right now, and I don't watch the fucking Lakers. LeBron ruined them for me. So.
You can't watch the Lakers.
We're really on the brisk of not watching the Vikings, but we're still there for now. So.
You should be on the brisk of not watching the Stars and celebrating a storied franchise.
I won't have a fan base that doesn't have a freaking Stanley Cup and got gifted their team by shitty expansion rules. I won't have you guys talking crap to us.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Don't bring up. Learn history. That's all I'm saying.
What history?
We don't have one yet.
Exactly.
What history? Got 17 times the amount of Stanley Cups Vegas has, and we'll add Minnesota Wild, and we'll add the Seattle Kraken, and it's still 17 times as many.
Why do you get the Kraken?
Because it's you guys. Seattle and Minnesota, like the 3 most losingest programs in the NHL.
Actually, that's not true because Vegas has been in the playoffs every year that they've been in the NHL, except for I
just told you about the shoddy expansion draft process. We need to talk racing.
Well, this is your own fault. You brought this upon.
I know. I wanted to do this. We had planned to do this. I did not envision what my friends and I have ranked as the lowest sporting event, lowest loss of my entire life.
Well, I'm glad we could have a part in it.
The 2 contenders for it was Florida A&M beating Iowa State on New Year's Eve.
No, that's still rough.
And Jeff Gordon wrecking the Pepsi throwback car 7 laps into my first race at Talladega, in which I cried.
It was the Pepsi Challenger. Oh, what a great ride.
I was crying.
I hated that car.
I hated asking to go home in the top row at Talladega. What an idiot of a kid I was. Still an idiot, but maybe a little bit smarter.
I don't know about that.
God, you're such a bandwagon. Stop it.
A bandwagon?
Yes, you're a bandwagon. Your team was
like them since day one.
Did you even think about Las Vegas in 2015?
What?
What were the Vegas Golden Knights doing in 2015?
Not a thing.
Exactly.
You're right. So I am
no history, no importance.
Knights fan from day one. I can say that.
Exactly.
Josh and I are in the same boat here. You should just jump on board before the ship leaves town.
I will never cheer for the Vegas Golden Knights. Mark Stone's a bitch. Like, I hate
All
it.
right, moving on anyway, because he can't control his own show. It's time for us to take over, Josh.
Time out. I've tried to move on like 17
We
times.
are moving on. It is a busy weekend in racing, and it gets started with F1 in Monaco on Sunday.
Oh, you are just the latest guy today, aren't you? Oh man!
Oh no!
At least I get some sense of joy out of this show. I can laugh at myself a little bit.
Oh, I'm glad. So while we're on the topic,
Red Bull 1-2. Ferrari's gonna fuck up pit strategy, so one of them's gonna finish 6th instead of 4th.
Leclerc will DNF.
I don't know if Lewis or George will win. Maybe that's the biggest race of the weekend is Lewis versus George to see who will finish 4th.
How about the rumors Lewis to Ferrari?
I did hear that.
What a sellout. That'd be terrible for his fan base. They've preached how he's a team guy from day one.
Yeah, well, that's not true.
I know.
I also saw this.
Do you remember when the bigger problem was Lewis Hamilton fans? And it wasn't just F1 fans are fucking stupid.
Hey, knock it off.
I don't know. Seriously, Lewis fans, Lewis as a person I've never harshly disagreed. Actually, that's probably a lie.
That's a lie.
He's either grown as a person or I've grown as a fan. His fans were always stupid. He was good. Now it's just all of them.
What percentage of fans would you say?
Of Lewis Hamilton fans that are stupid?
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, go fuck yourself.
No, because they walk around cornfields and they wait for you to find them in the maze, and they stick their heads out and go, Lewis Hamilton would whip Jeff Gordon's ass. Who even is Jeff Gordon? All he does.
I never said that.
All right, so I'll do 85%. I'll take it down just so Josh doesn't feel.
Thank you.
Doesn't feel obligated to be in that group.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out why he was.
Part of that.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why he kept pushing me at it. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense now.
Oh my goodness. So anyway, F1, we've got that covered because no one's going to really give a damn because it's going to be the same race that it always is.
Well, actually,
what
I'm
looking for?
Early, but...
I'm looking for them. I want to see if they have as big of a screw job as they had either last year or 2 years ago. I forget which one it was, but they started the race and then it started raining. So they just started the clock and said, if this thing runs out, then we're done.
That was last year.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Does not get as big of a debacle than that, nor canceling an entire race weekend because it got too wet.
Speaking of that 4-letter word that starts with R, is that still in the forecast for Indianapolis on Sunday?
No, it never was. I don't that I saw.
Just Charlotte. Charlotte's the.
I had seen that it was in the forecast for Sunday. Chances throughout the day.
I saw mostly sunny, high of 83.
Perfect.
So for the record, and we might be looking at different news outlets. I don't know what you.
Yeah, high of 80 now, but it's mostly cloudy now.
I don't know what you Vegas fans let filter into your timeline, but we only look at the serious weather reporters. I don't know. There's a guy that just does weather for IndyCar, NASCAR race weekends, and he'll just monitor all of that. He's cool. I wish
What's his name?
I don't know. IndyCar WX, maybe. I have no idea, man. It's been a lot.
It was something like that I saw someone post about.
Yeah, it might be NASCAR weatherman. Honestly, it's the guy with the cute graphics that he doesn't have a Photoshop account, but he does know what he's doing with the weather. You'll know when you look at the graphic. I'll try to retweet one tonight on the Always Race Day account.
IndyCar weatherman.
That's it. There you go.
_WX man.
Hey, look how close I was.
So
closer than Dallas was to scoring a goal.
That ain't no shit.
They hit the post 4 times. What are you talking about?
You hit the back of the net doesn't mean it's going to go. You have to hit the front of the net.
One of those was the back of the net. The other 3, yeah. All right, that's fine. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, this is who I was talking about. He said that there was possible chances early, but now it's gone completely out. He said everything looks dry. So look at this guy go.
Love to hear that.
He must have bitched out Mother Nature and been like, "Look, we can't have this."
I need his number. We got.
I'm telling work that I'm not showing up the next day if it rains out to the next day.
Oh, I would not either. But guess what? You probably don't have to work on Monday.
No, I have to work on Tuesday.
I had a teacher.
The race is on Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, but if it like postponed, it'd go to Monday.
Josh is throwing a hell of a.
I have to drive back to where everyone's going in CR with Caleb, and then I have to drive back to where I'm living.
That's fair. That's fair.
I had a teacher in college, and I just flat out told him, I said, if the Daytona 500 is rained out and I'm not here Monday, you know where I'm at. And I FaceTimed into class.
Yeah, that was before Zoom.
Yeah. Well, he didn't care about NASCAR. I didn't care about what he was teaching that day. But he was very comfortable with me skipping.
Seems like a great trade-off.
No, he taught me a crap ton. It was just heard a cat die in the hallway, I think. Doing something. But no, he was a great guy. Whatever we were learning, he's like, you're really good at that anyway.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, no kidding. I got really lucky. I got really lucky with that one.
Oh, so thoughts Indy 500 from our IndyCar insider, Josh.
Well, so you just closed.
I said Josh.
My opening thought was that you were going to be off the Zoom by now, and I was going to have a snake draft your Indy 500 pick. And I was going to take Stephen Wilson as your number one.
No,
and then I was going to give you the sportsmanship award for having the best sportsmanship team put together.
No, I am here. I am ready to do a draft.
I know exactly what you were going to say.
I wanted to hear what Josh has to say. I don't want to hear what you have to say, and since you can't run your show tonight, I'm going to.
He is taking the reins.
You want to edit it too?
No, you've got that part.
He's doing the other work.
I'm doing everything else. My back's starting to hurt. I'm carrying the show.
Go for it, Josh.
I don't know. I don't have much to it. VK fast as usual, Pillow fast as usual, Award fast as usual, Dixon fast as usual. I mean,
this is the worst Indy 500 preview of all time.
Do you?
You're just naming names and saying they're going fast.
Let me ask this then. I'll ask a question and see if we can get some thoughts here.
What I'm trying to tell Josh is he's so good at being an IndyCar diehard. He would know those guys are always fast there.
Do you think that we're going to see this thing? Because, I mean, let's be honest. The race itself, except for occasionally outside the last 20, 30, 40 laps of some of these races, can get really strung out, can get really pretty boring to watch for a long time in that middle section.
Damn it, they're going 240 miles per hour.
Listen for a second.
Go ahead.
Do you think, because of what's happened with Stefan earlier this week, we're going to see that be a little more strung out throughout this race?
I don't.
This was quoted to Josh, but go ahead.
He did say this was a first.
You gotta stop. This has been the.
We know you like to talk, but
only they had one on Sunday. On Sunday, my whole week would have changed.
Connor, I will ask you the same question when.
Yeah, that's fine. Go, Josh. Go, Josh.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be pretty similar to what it has been in the most recent years, for the fact, I think most of these drivers know that is a risk, especially coming to this track. As partaking that, Stefan didn't really have much to do with that incident. So it's not like he was being, careless or, it was a mechanical thing. It was just, at someone else's fault. So I don't think it's going to adjust individual strategies. I think everyone's got their name of the game planned out for the weekend, and I think they're going to stick to it. I do think that most teams are going to try to short pit, I think that's going to be the name of the game. I know Ray Hall had strung it out the one year and it almost paid off. But if you look at every single year the past 3 years, there's in the first 100 laps, there's always some incident around the time of caution where if you string it out for too long, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. Hence the whole Dixon scenario, 2 out of those 3 years.
Connor, so now my question to you is, Polo won the pole. Okay. Does he find a way to get it done?
Oh, you're asking for my picks.
Not necessarily. No, I'm not asking for your pick. I'm asking, do you think Alex Palou is capable of winning this race on Sunday?
So I've picked Alex Palou to win the 500 last year. I picked him the year before until he did that McLaren BS. See, censor myself now. Look at that. Look at personal growth in the episode, right? I don't know if my heart still lies with Alex Palou, or Palou. I've heard his name pronounced so many different ways, and it just gets mad.
I've only ever heard you pronounce it that.
Yeah.
You should go back to the first Indy 500 he was in. Because that's when I noticed him. I'm like, this kid's good. This kid will be something. Now, I thought similar things to Harvey, and it's a little, obviously, different paths.
So you're answering the question.
He's going to be in the mix, for sure. There's absolutely no way he's not. The biggest thing for him is getting into second comfortably so that you're not running in clean air and scrubbing all that fuel off. Basically, the first 100 laps, or until the first caution, until something happens that throws a wrench in everyone's strategy, it's the key to the race is not being out front for an extended period of time. So it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches that, because I don't think he's really had to think about that in the past. I know he's led a couple laps, but we'll see what he does. I'm interested in Connor Daly coming from 13th, 14th?
Yeah, somewhere mid-pack, yep.
15th.
Go ahead, Josh.
I will follow that up with saying that Palou has a big opportunity here, and it kind of plays in his favor when you look at second, third, and fourth with VK, Rosenquist, Ferrucci, because they're going to want to be in front. They want to be known to lead the Indy 500. So I think that's what Palou has the opportunity to save the fuel, like you talked about, because those dudes are going to want to be in front. We saw it with VK last year. We knew Ferrucci, how he drives. He's very aggressive. I think they're both going to be going as hard as they can.
So I'll say this. This is why I love watching the Indy 500, is because I enjoy seeing strategy play out. That's why I'm not a huge fan of NASCAR having stages. I get it. I understand it now. But I like this because it's only natural cautions or no caution. There's no in between when it comes to this race, and you're getting strategy all the time. I mean, let's be honest. Is Alexander Rossi driving the car he is today without him playing a strategy call to win his Indy 500? Does he get to stay at Andretti as long as he did? Dan Walden's another prime example of that strategy call when he won his second 500. So it's a strategy type race, and I love strategy type events because it does put the whole crew into it, right? We hear all these drivers say, well, the crew gave me a good car. Well, this is what is helping as part of it. Your strategist at the top of the box has got a lot to work with this, and your team's got a lot to do with it. I love the strategy play in this race, and I'm excited for that part of it.
I mean, in the strategy's huge. As you said, with Dan Weldon's second 500, part of strategy is just being in the right place at the right time, and hot damn, he was there at the most unexpected moment, the most unexpected thing to happen. Anything can happen in this race because of the speeds they're going. If they hit a rock in a corner, I mean, they might shelve the car and completely wreck it. So it's super exciting from that aspect. And also just every IndyCar podcast you listen to, they talk about this race 365 days a year. Our guy Nick Yeoman is hosting a pre-race show And one of the main topics on their show is about Kyle Larson running the double in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So we're already talking about the 24 500, and we're haven't even ran the 23 one. So all these teams think about this race. They watch film on this race, and it almost always resembles itself because of how consistent of a product these cars are. But it comes down to, on Sunday, if you can do all the things the past winners did and do them all perfectly, and then get a lot of luck too.
This is a question for either one of you, and you can either one answer.
Thanks for leaving it open.
I'm leaving it open this time. We have seen all this whole time they've been out there, last 2 weeks, whatever it's been. Felix Rosenqvist has been bad fast. Okay, does this play? You mentioned it, Josh. He wants to lead the race. Like, he wants to be up front. Obviously, strategy is going to play indicator in that. But do we feel that this is a shot for Rosenqvist to have the best chance he's had since he was in that 10 car?
Yeah.
I think him being at McLaren is a better fit for him for that 10 car. He's obviously shown speeds in the past, but as we've known Rosenqvist, he is known as the front row guy. Like, he is known to go out there and just out qualify his teammates consistently, week in, week out. When it comes to race time, he does have fall off. And I think that's where I'm not quite sure why. I guess it's kind of like a Ryan Newman scenario, essentially, where Ryan Newman was kind of a bad fast qualifier, and just those speeds never transitioned to race time. And I think that's how you are with him. So I do think he's got a chance. I mean, he's in my opinion, probably the best car in the field, or the best team in the field. But I have yet to see it. And I want to see it because I love McLaren. I love Felix. I want the best for him. But I haven't seen it yet.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I got irked when you said I love McLaren.
I'm gonna be sitting in turn 1 and turn 2 wearing my Pato Ward shirt loud and proud.
I appreciate that they promised Kyle Larson a seat in their car for the 2024 Indy 500. You look at a guy and you take him for his word, and he screws you 17 different ways. I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will. Sure seems like it's happening. But I've also seen 17 other drivers promise a seat at McLaren, and only 2 of them got it this year. Over last summer, everybody was promised a seat at McLaren.
Are you talking about between F1 and IndyCar?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were loaning out. They were talking about sending Rosenqvist to the damn Rosberg's Extreme Electric Off-Road Series, or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, it's hard telling.
Until they got the third car thing figured out and said, oh, everyone we wanted and promised a ride to said they signed already because it got too late.
And now we have a 4th car for this race.
Yeah, and they might go for full-time next year. There's some rumors surrounding that. So you never know. You never know.
So then they're running
5.
Then they're going to run 5 next year for Indy?
That's assuming that would be...
That'll be wild.
It wouldn't be the 4th. I mean, that's happened before.
Well,
many times, right?
Oh yeah, that's happened before. But I think we've reached to a point, Connor. It's time to draft.
I do have one message for all the haters that said Graham Rahal wasn't going to race in the 2022 Indy 500. Man, you know what to do. I won't even.
There's an asterisk next to it.
Don't even have to say it. Well, he's racing, and I don't care. Chevrolet, Honda, Dreyer, Reinbold.
Let's be honest. Like I told you, I am a big Graham Rahal fan, but there is no guarantee he is going to actually be racing. It'll be a riding. You got to have a fast car to race.
I feel like if you're going over 200,
you gotta have a fast car to race, Connor.
Dreyer Reinbold's team is way faster than RLL this week.
Obviously, but that doesn't mean the backup will be.
It's fair. Now that I think the chassis finished 4th in the 2012 Indy 500 or something.
Well, that chassis is old.
Yeah, but it works. You know that.
in 2012. We're 11 years past the date.
All right. I volunteer to go last. Are we doing a snake?
Yeah, we'll go snake draft.
So I got to go 2 in a row, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Josh, you can pick first.
All right.
Damon, write this down and text me a picture.
I was gonna say I'm pulling out my paper, so fuck it, I'll be biased. I'll take award.
Okay. So then I'm going to take Alex Pillow.
That's who I was trying to determine who I wanted to take. Him or award.
So I got 2 picks.
How many are we doing? 4?
Yeah, we should figure that out before we start.
Probably, but
You want to?
We
let's
do
just do
4,
4.
so 12.
Let's just do 4.
Okay.
That makes it a little less fun, but okay.
12 cars out of the 33 car field.
Yeah, I mean 18 would have been sick though.
Jesus Christ.
Do we want to meet in the middle and do 15? Do 5 each?
All right, let's do 5. Go, Connor. You got 2 picks. 5 picks. Total.
I know. I'm on the clock. I'm not doing a good job of being on the clock.
We know.
It's a certain way about strategy here.
We still got 2 other segments to get through this show on.
Yeah, I got you. I will take Scott Dixon and Joseph Newgarden.
Yeah.
Okay. Good plays. Kind of. Let's see here. Give me Felix Rosenquist.
Perfect. So I get 2 now. I will take Takuma Sato.
He's got Pato and Sato.
And I'll take Rossi.
Okay.
Some dude just drafted all of McLaren and acted like it was a formulaic way of getting there.
Sato is Ganassi.
Is the 11 car a Ganassi car?
Yeah, because
Yes.
it's Marcus Armstrong, but he's not eligible for ovals.
Gotcha. Well then I'm going with a Ganassi car as well, and I'm going to take Marcus Ericsson.
He kind of just slipped by me as I was
Take the damn defending winner. Real tough one there.
in the 3rd round, which is surprising.
Yes, sir.
Do we think Caleb's going to listen to this?
We'll see.
I don't know.
I kind of want to take McLaughlin just to spite him.
Are you going to take him?
I don't know yet. Oh crap! I had my for sure I want this guy next, and I forgot who it was. This is embarrassing. This is worse than the hockey game almost.
Oh my god! I've just let these guys kind of. There's options.
There's a lot of options, actually.
Yeah.
Anyone can win this race. I probably should have thought of this before.
Yeah, I didn't know we were doing this until you said something.
Yeah, I didn't warn you guys either. That's my bad.
No.
Marco Andretti. That's another option.
Are you taking him?
No. Screw it. Renus VK and Connor Daly.
2 Ed Carpenter cars.
I was looking at VK. I
like VK.
I was thinking about it, but he always does something.
If VK was going to be left on for this pick, I would take it. But give me Santino Ferrucci.
Damn it!
I like Santino a lot. I really think
he's a great person.
what a hell of a story this would be to put AJ Foyt's car in Indy victory lane. That'd be cool.
Right. All right, so I get 2 here.
Final 2 picks.
Yeah. I'm going to do it just to complete it out. I'm going to take Kanan as one of them. And then I got it down to between 2 people. They haven't showed speed all weekend, but I don't know how good that car is, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take power.
Damn. Well, with you going with power, then, God, he's so good here. I'm gonna take Ed Carpenter.
Whoa!
He qualified 13th. He's always up front. It's so hard to not take Ed Carpenter.
It's so hard for me to think Ed Carpenter is gonna be fast because I watched that man in person at Iowa Speedway and that thing was a boat anchor.
Yeah, it's slow as shit, but when he goes to Indy, he finds speed, and I don't know where.
You really screwed me because there's no PR positive way I can pick Graham Rahal here.
There is.
It was if Josh and you took McLaughlin and Herta, but you took neither of them, and now I'm deciding between those two. Andretti.
I don't even know what team this car is.
Ryan Hunter.
Which one?
Yeah.
I know they brought root insurance on really late. He's got that Mason Ziegler scheme. None of the sponsors show up.
Isn't Ryan Hunter-Ray with the same team that Stefan Wilson was with? Isn't he with Dreyer?
Probably Dreyer. Yeah, because they're 23 and 24. I
think that he is. Dreyer Reinbold.
Okay, I kind of feel confident.
Can I pick Sage Karam and win my own sportsmanship award?
No.
Okay. I'll take Herta. Herta's really freaking good. I'm gonna regret that because McLaughlin and Penske are probably gonna be nails because Penske's always nails.
Yeah, well, he's still left on the board total, but draft is complete. Good work, boys.
It's crazy to think that no one drafted McLaughlin.
I know. It was either going to be him or I took Ed Carpenter as I want to still be recognized as a good son when I go to Indianapolis in July. And so I figured if I take Ed Carpenter, if he doesn't win, people
and I was just comparing
I'm a great person.
I was just comparing credentials, and I was like, do I pick Rahal? Do I pick McLaughlin? And I was looking at theirs, and they have the same resume. So they're pretty much the same driver. So that's what led me to pick Herta.
I'm pretty sure McLaughlin has more wins than
Herta?
No, than Rahal. But yeah. They might both have 3, but
total, like in IndyCar?
Yeah.
Doesn't Graham have like 8?
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Oh, I thought he only had 3.
No, he won a bunch early in his career.
No, that's Caleb's glossed overthinking. Let's get into you. 6. 28 podiums also.
6 wins, is that what you said?
Yeah, 6 career wins.
28 podiums and a best of 4th place in the points.
Are we moving on to Coke 600?
Moving on to the Coke 600.
Hey, can I say something about this race real quick?
Yep.
Chase Briscoe had a video drop on his Twitter today that said that the most underrated race on the NASCAR schedule was the Coca Cola 600.
Underrated?
We took the damn Brickyard away. We basically have 3 crown jewels, 4, I guess. Really depends on what you count as a crown jewel, because then we'd have 5 if I was counting them with Bristol Dirt being on the schedule. But how the hell is a crown jewel underrated?
No, that's a good question. I can't.
Who's underrating the Coke 600? It's properly rated. It's a big race. Everyone knows it's a big race, and it did rock last year.
It rocked because he decided to spin.
Why don't you reply tweet to that video and see what he had?
Yeah, I should do that. Good answer.
That'll look real great on your Twitter.
Underrated. Great. It was great last year because he caused the caution, dude.
Yeah, you made it. You made it a show last year.
No hate to Chase. I was watching him rip around Millbridge before they got into this fence delay tonight. They got the feature going though. Cannon McIntosh in the lead halfway through.
Good start for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So
that's a hell of a schedule that Extreme Outlaw series put together.
Yeah.
In terms of racing at cool facilities, small facilities, stuff like that you can do at a midget. Like they basically knocked it out of the park for midget racing, I think. But back to 600.
Go to the Coke 600. So thoughts on this one? I mean, it's a nighttime race, so tire fall off is not going to be big at the end of this one. Early in this race, we're going to see I do not think who we see lead lap 200 is going to be even in the top 5 when we get to the end of the race.
Do we think that the tire fall off could be potentially like how Texas was last year in the playoffs, where we had continuous tire failures?
I don't think so. Because I think we're kind of past that, really, in my opinion. I think we're past
they figured it out.
Yeah, I think so. I think if we have tire issues, it's going to be because of heat more than anything, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. Like I said, we can be completely wrong with the lap 200 leader as well. I mean, we've seen 3 out of the last 5 years or 3 out of the last 6 years, the guy who's won the race has led like 390 laps or something like that. Like when MTJ
but most of those were how many of those were 550 package?
I don't think it matters regardless.
Yeah, no, it definitely freaking matters. You got to be kidding.
I could tell you it was probably, I don't even know if they ran through 550 at Charlotte.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think they did.
It might have been 650. Whatever package it was, it sucked before the next gen car.
Well, the next gen car
couldn't pass the leader. The same guy led the entire race, and it wasn't because he was dominating. You just couldn't pass him.
You couldn't pass the leader when they went 4 wide at the end for the win?
Right.
What year?
Was it 2020 or 2021?
Well, it wasn't 2021. That was the year that Larson kicked everybody's ass that night.
Yeah, so it's 2020.
Was it 2019 when Martin Truex dominated?
No, those are the 7. Yeah, I was going to say that was when
he won his title.
It was in the 78 car.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't subscribe to what was true about the race before these cars got into the conversation. I think it's way different. But like you said with the tire stuff, like no one's cutting the edge that closely there. I mean, they're definitely cutting corners in other aspects of the car. That's why we've seen so many penalties this year. Expect them to keep doing that more in any facet that they're going to put out there. But I assume there won't be that many tire issues. I assume it's going to be a good race. Ricky Stenhouse might top 10 there last year. Joe Gibbs was really good there last year. It'll be interesting to see how they do with kind of
they weren't that great.
Joe Gibbs was not that good. They showed up at the end though. That's what I'm thinking it's gonna be like. This is gonna be one of those races that someone's gonna not really be a factor and be just outside the 15.
Let's not forget that this was also the race that Larson had everything happen to him in the first 100 laps, 200 laps of this race, where he wrecked, he was on fire, he was caught speeding, there was a pit road penalty on his team. I mean, they got sent to the back 4 or 5 times, and he still drove to the front when nobody else was finding ways to pass.
Yeah, so, if you're asking for my pick for that race, it's Larson.
I mean, I think when you look at this, it's going to come down to something similar. And he really should have won the race anyway, because that thing should have stayed green when Briscoe spun, but he ended up deciding to keep it spun around and spun it off the wall instead. But regardless, Larson really should have won that race last year. And then, like Josh said, Joe Gibbs showed up at the very end. They tend to, I think that's what's going to happen too, is I think you could see that again. But I also think you could see just pure domination by someone as well. I don't think you're going to be, I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know if we're going to see a Kansas type showdown.
Because one thing I do remember last year, like the race was essentially split up into 5 segments,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like one guy led the first 100, and then I know at one point Suarez led like the next 100,
Mm-hmm.
and like Busher led the next 100. Like it was all spaced.
Yeah, each stage. I think there was it's 4 stages. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
I
makes
like that
sense
for some reason, but I just don't.
It makes sense. It's a 400 lap race, so you might as well break it up by each 100.
I would go 100, 100, and 200.
Well, it's a pit stop though, guaranteed in each stage. You're guaranteed at least one halfway break in the stage. So, plus, I personally I would like to see it not be broken up, but if we have to do it, then this is the way to go about it, I guess. Plus, then we don't have to see commercials during green flag laps.
Yeah, we'll see.
Even though we will.
I don't want to get into the stage debate or anything, but like talking about what is kind of up with racing right now, like the All-Star Race being on Fox Sports 1 was stupid as hell.
It always is.
I know.
It was on
never
speed.
Made sense to me.
It was on speed before it was on FS1.
I don't know if
it's never been on the mainstream market, Connor.
We got to give them some incentive to win it and some incentive for it to get on.
You want my honest opinion to it?
For the All-Star, do you want to end it?
Yeah.
Why?
It's run its course. There's not a whole lot of. It's not the pomp and circumstance behind it anymore. People aren't wrecking to win $1 million. People aren't bringing home the steering wheel only if they don't win. I mean, it's kind of run its course. Give these guys another off week. They need another off week, in my opinion.
No, they don't. No, they don't. We cover the World of Outlaws. They don't need another off week.
All right.
I personally feel like a part of it has to do with this car.
I do too.
It's expensive, and the parts are hard to come by. And like, it's not back in the day when you could have a COT car and you could junk it and you're like, oh, well, I got 8 more back at the shop.
Because you can't build your own stuff anymore. It's all, you have to buy everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on those suppliers too. I think they're very at fault.
Here we go again.
That's on NASCAR.
Time out.
It's on NASCAR.
The supply chain shortage has run its course. We're done with that. If your job is to supply NASCAR teams with these amount of parts, you better make sure there's plentiful amounts of them.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why did we have to take it away from the teams in the first place?
I agree. But that's the decision they made. If you land that contract to supply NASCAR teams with parts, freaking make them. And make more than you have. And make sure there's enough there for all of them. Make sure if someone wrecks that they're supplies.
Yeah. I do think
if I couldn't get parts in time for something, if I was in a situation like that, I would 2,000% be in front of a microphone blasting that company.
I also don't think it has to do necessarily with supplies as well. Like, obviously that plays a factor, but it's costing teams more.
It's cost. It's all cost.
Yeah, because before, like, think of it this way. Something breaks on your car, you pay a mechanic to fix it, you have labor costs, essentially, if someone else is to fix it for you. If you fix it yourself, it's going to be a lot less cheaper, and it's going to be a lot more familiar for these teams to be able to fix certain issues that come across, because they're like, oh, we built this, so we know when something goes wrong, we know how to fix it.
So level with me here just on, and I'm not answering your thing, but level with me a little bit. You guys wouldn't wreck, if you guys were driving in NASCAR, you wouldn't wreck someone for $1 million. You're probably getting that a year easily, and that $1 million isn't going directly to you. Would you wreck a guy at the end if it meant that first place gets 10 playoff points and second gets 0?
That's tough to say.
We preach every week that a win gets you in the playoffs. Well, a win gets you in the All-Star race. So throw the winners, throw the poll winners, put all of them in the All-Star race. Don't
put the poll. Why the poll winners? The poll winners get the Busch Clash. They don't need to be in the All-Star race.
You need more reason to put more people in it.
You don't need to have more people in it.
Okay, all right, I'll agree with you there. That's
24 was enough for me.
But give the winner 10 playoff points. You know what the best
I would be okay with that.
You know what the best All-Star games when I was growing up
so you're saying it becomes a points race then?
No, the winner gets 10 playoff points, everyone else gets 0.
I'm just essentially saying that it's affecting the points essentially.
Yeah, I mean you're getting a bonus. But the MLB did it for years that home field advantage went to the All-Star game winner. And you know what All-Star game kicked ass until they took it away because people said it was stupid? The All-Star game for the MLB kicked ass every year as appointment television if your team was good in baseball or if you were just a baseball fan. Now no one gives two hoots or hollers about the All-Star game. They might watch the home run derby. They don't care about the All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it, but I also see now you turn it into a points deal as well. So it's kind of one of those.
It's a bonus, just like winning the regular season's a bonus.
You're right, but that's
just like winning a stage gets you a playoff point.
You're right. You're missing the point, though. Those are all points races.
That's essentially making the Clash a points race. Then
I didn't say the Clash was giving that out.
Okay, but if you're gonna make in my mind, the All-Star race is exactly like the Clashes, except you get money.
But it's not because you don't race your way into the Clash. You just happen to be there. How do you get in the All-Star race? You win your way there, right?
Yeah,
you win your way through the Open. Everyone that is in the All-Star race.
You do the same for the Busch Clash now.
You do the same for the Busch Clash.
Did Ross Chastain race in the last 2 Busch clashes?
Did he win a pole?
But did he race in the last 2 Busch clashes?
Did he win a pole?
I have no idea.
If he did not win a pole, then he probably did not.
Because they do
heat races in both of them. But I was just gonna say,
there is heat races now for it too. So for the Busch Clash.
Yeah, that's also true.
I'm not talking about the Busch Clash, though. I'm talking about the All-Star race. You earn your way into the All-Star race. Everyone that's there earned their way there. So they earned their way in this hypothetical, they earned their way for an opportunity to get 10 playoff points for winning the All-Star race to make it worth something.
Can I just say that the Busch Clash anyway is kind of ridiculous that everybody gets a chance on it, but it should be the poll winners. But going back to this argument, you should not be giving out points for an exhibition race.
Correct.
Does that make sense? It's like, Connor, let me put it this way. It's like if
it was an exhibition, it would make sense if there was a 40-car exhibition race.
It's like if you go to the spring training, right? Your team goes.
Well, no, it's the middle of the year. This would be an all-star charity.
Listen, you go in spring training because they're all exhibitions. You go to the spring training and they win. They're undefeated through spring training. You give them 18 more wins on their regular season total because of that.
Yeah, that's the only way the Cubs will make the playoffs in the next 5 years. So I'm all aboard.
That would make sense.
You can't argue it's stupid. I told you.
Yeah, we know. I do think, though, it'll be an interesting race. I don't know. Are we drafting or are we not? Are we just doing picks?
We can if you want. Well, it's up to you. I don't care.
Don't matter.
Do we want the loser to – which we got to think of something for the loser to do.
I think you're the loser in this.
I vote if Damon loses, I'll give you Logan Schuhart's number. You have to call him up and tell him who you are and that he sucks. That you think he sucks.
I ain't gonna do that.
Earnestly.
We're not trying to ruin reputations out here.
Make sure you let him know we're recording this for the podcast.
This will look poorly on you more than me.
This is, yeah.
Any Logan fans are listening, that's an inside thing with me and Damon. He doesn't think Logan sucks.
I don't.
Just thinks Jacob Allen is miraculously way better.
Not anymore.
Better enough to mention it every time we brought it up for a month.
Last year. Now
I know, it's just so funny to me.
I can't even say the same thing.
It's just the most middle of the road, like hot take someone could have, and Damon kept bringing it up.
It was true for about
I hated it.
All right. We got to get moving because I got to get going. So let's get a decision made. Are we drafting or are we just picking?
I'd be down to draft.
Let's draft then.
All right. Same order.
Why? I got to go last again? I'll still win the whole damn thing. It's fine.
Okay. Fuck it. I'm gonna take Larson.
God damn motherfucker. Can I trade you for my first?
I'll trade you 2 picks and we'll go off average finish.
I will trade you my first and second pick. God damn it. All right, then I'm gonna go with William Byron.
I was gonna say I let you guys take Pelot and Dixon, so I was gonna.
Can I pass
take
on
the
this?
low-hanging fruit.
Can I pass on this and get an extra pick for the 2024 Coke 600 draft?
No.
This draft sucks.
This draft does suck.
Who'd you take?
I took Byron.
I was thinking about Byron.
Oh man. Yeah, fuck it, Chase Elliott.
Well, Hendrick is going to be very happy with this podcast. You get a second pick, Connor.
Oh, thank you. Love that. All right. And you guys are going to pick him for sure. Okay. We got to put this graphic out somehow with the order. I'm going to take Bowman.
Oh my god. The other 3 made sense. This one not so much.
This one does not make a whole lot of sense.
He finished 10th there last year.
Hey, so
and he's back. He's going to have his own commercial.
Oh my god!
Haven't you guys heard? Bowman's coming back on Sunday.
No, they're gonna do the commercial as Chase Elliott's teammates back.
Yes, that's exactly it. Let's see. I'll go with Denny Hamlin.
Fuck! I was hoping he was gonna fall because I was gonna take.
Sucks to suck. I'll trade you Hamlin.
It's been way more entertaining than the Indy 500 draft. I couldn't see that coming.
Hey, I will trade you Denny Hamlin if you give me Kyle Larson.
Oh, that's a good trade. Look at that one.
I will trade you Byron and Hamlin for Larson.
Are we still doing average finish?
No, and then your next pick as well.
The problem is, my race pick was gonna be Hamlin.
That's fine. We haven't.
Hey, listen, my race pick was going to be Larson. So let's just make it a fair trade, and we'll go 1 for 1. You can have Hamlin, and I'll take Larson. Deal.
Don't do that, Josh.
It's a good deal.
The dude's running momentum. I can't.
It's a good deal. He did not lose last week, by the way. I just want to point that out. Larson did not lose last week in any of the 3 races he ran.
Correct.
How bullshit was that they didn't even mention that the sprint car race he won was the high limit series sprint car race?
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought that was stupid. I mean, like, you don't just run random races.
I'm going to take Bell.
Okay.
And, no, he'll be later.
This one's a lot harder.
Yeah. I will take. He hasn't been fast, though.
I was just going to tell you guys about this one being harder. I disagree.
Just a lot more can happen in 600 miles than.
Right.
Fuck it. I'm going to take Suarez.
Damn. All right. Give me Kyle Busch.
All right. We're going to 5?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Running a risk there. I will go. I don't know why I don't want to pick Kevin Harvick, but just for the sake of the podcast, I'll move on. Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick.
Damn it, I was going to take Reddick.
That was one of the. That's who I was talking about. Who said he hasn't been fast lately.
I was going to take Reddick as well. MTJ.
Okay. I'm gonna take Busher.
How's the light?
Busher.
Oh, jeez. I look like a ghost.
Yeah, and he was gonna be the last round pick, but I guess it doesn't matter which order I do him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd take the guy that you were deciding for your 5th pick over the 2 that you're debating for your 4th one.
What?
I don't want to tell you how to draft.
I got nothing for that answer.
I don't think he understood what I meant.
Did I do it the opposite way? My bad.
Dude, this is tough.
It's hard
And
because the Fords suck.
I'm trying to not milk this out, but like I'm going through every single number in my brain, and I can. Logano.
What you can do, Josh, is think of a good punishment for the loser.
Man, I don't want to pick a Ford because they suck, but I kind of have to at this point. Unless I really, really want to go against my ill will here.
Jesus?
No, not Jesus. Not Jesus. The watermelon ball.
Yeah, I was gonna say the counteractive to Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know if I should do that or not, but I can't do it. I cannot physically do it. Give me Ryan Blaney.
That's who I was trying to think of. And because I was running through numbers in my brain and I came across Cindric and I was like, oh, Blaney. And then I was like, wait, Logano's still available.
Yeah, I'll take Ryan Blaney.
You guys made this easy as hell. Ricky Stenhouse.
Yeah, so easy.
I'm laughing because we left the points leader on the board, which is fine because fuck him.
What points leader?
Chastain.
He ain't got no wins this year.
He is the points leader.
I get it. You put him in a grid like they should be in, he's not.
Connor, it doesn't matter. Points are still points.
It's just like back in the day, ESPN
for
would
that,
put the NBA standings as divisional standings, and that's not how you decide the playoff.
If you really cared that much, he is second in the playoff standings behind William Byron. So,
who?
Chastain.
He has 0 wins.
I'm looking at him in the playoff standing points.
10th.
He is okay.
How many winners do we have?
Think about the stage points.
Yeah, that's fine.
He doesn't care about points unless it comes with Outlaws. He doesn't give a shit about points.
Care about the playoff grid.
All right, we got to wrap this up here.
Does he have that many? Does he have that many playoff points without any?
Yes,
that's crazy.
Yes,
lucky son of a.
Yes, he does.
Just didn't listen.
He's got 5 top 5s, 6 top 10s, and 5 stage wins.
5 stage wins. Okay.
The only person who has more stage wins is William Byron. He has 6.
You're looking at stage wins. You're not looking at playoff points.
You get playoff points for stage wins.
You get 1. Every win that you get 5 playoff points. Every driver with 2 wins is automatically ahead of him. Every driver with 1 win is tied with him.
That's not how that works.
That is how that works.
It's by the regular season points, so he gets the tiebreaker over
in the playoff grid. You would get 15 points if you are the regular season champion. I don't envision Ross Chastain being there at the end of the regular season. You can come back to this clip if you
yes, but if he finishes second in the points, he will get the tiebreaker.
Like you will when the playoffs come.
He is. He is second. When the playoffs show up, he is second in the playoff points.
Just because he's currently the regular season leader. That's it.
Holy shit.
I didn't expect you of all people to throw Ross Chastain propaganda
I don't like
onto my show, Damon. But the Vegas thing, it's all making sense now.
I don't like him either. And I don't like doing this. Like, it is burning my ass to do this.
Facts.
But it's facts. If it wasn't fact, I wouldn't do it.
You can't argue with facts.
You threw a clause in the contract.
Stand.
You threw a clause in the contract, and you're arguing it like it wasn't there.
Look, I cannot stand Ross Chastain. I cannot fucking stand the man. But facts are facts.
All right, move on.
All right, moving on. On to, let's see, what do we got? World of Outlaws, and that's about it. Can't remember what else we got going on.
They're at Atomic. Pavement sprint cars.
A whole lot of time.
Little 500 running at Anderson. Always a cool event. Some of the USAC guys are running over.
Are you going?
Most likely.
Awesome. That'll be so much fun.
We'll have boots on the ground. Can you send videos to me so we can post on the ARD Twitter of all the drunk people in the stands?
You want me to record the drunk people and the fans and not what's going on in the track?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't want to take away to the awesome job that Flo does.
If I go, I'll take videos.
I love it. Yeah. Lucas is in action this weekend, as are the World of Outlaws late models. Both those tours with really good points races going on.
Lucas is down at Wheatland. They're like about an hour and a half from where I'm currently at.
Yeah, show me 100. So
yeah, it is. It's a big race weekend down there. Starts tomorrow night, actually. Tomorrow night for I think it's a $5,000 to win race tomorrow night, and a $5,000 to win on Friday, and then the 20 or 50,000 to win on Saturday.
50 on Saturday. It's their first like big crown jewel of the year.
It is.
I want to go down there. Sometime it's not an Indy 500 weekend. I will, but
it won't ever be that.
I was going to say it's never going to change. I'll get down there some year with Chris. That'll be fun. It's the first playoff cutoff race for the Lucas Tour.
Yeah.
So 15th and 16th are separated by like 250 points.
Yeah, so it's
the cutoffs happened. The cutoffs happened already. There's no dramatizing anything about that. I don't even know if that's a word.
It's not. It's dramatizing.
Thank you. All the people that were ticked off that it's a playoff format, it's not. It's just a way for the top four guys in points to race for $200,000 at the end of the year. It's Eldora's least historical crown jewel race that pays the most money of the three. But they got three now. Late models.
They got three.
You got three. I'll be watching both of them all weekend. Excited for the Outlaws. Can Donny keep this? I feel like there's been a crap ton of debates this week on YouTube, on Twitter. Damon, you tell it to me straight. Can Donny win the World of Outlaws championship? And should we even be talking about it right
now? I think I said this on Sunday night too. He's got to win a few more races to really cement himself
in a shorter time span.
Yeah. He's got to put together a really good summer before Knoxville. Last year, when he got to Knoxville and won there in the Nationals, he went on a tear. I think he didn't finish any worse than like 10th for a while, or even I think 5th for a while there. Like there's a 3-week stretch where he finished top 5 every week. Or every race, but he has got to put together a few more wins. 2 right now is big. But if he can go and run top 3, get podiums the next two nights for him, you go next weekend, maybe steal a win somewhere along the way. I wouldn't be opposed to talking about him being in the championship hunt, but he's got to put together a big, consistent run here through the month of June.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's going to be tough. You look at Brad Sweet's stats the last 3 seasons.
Well, look what he did last year. I mean,
with the lack of wins last year to how many times he finished outside the top 10, it was
all consistency last year.
That stat was brought up by Justin Fiedler from Dirt Tracker this week. How many times? I don't know the numbers on the dot. This is bad journalism on my part because I'm just recalling stuff. But however many times Brad Sweet finished outside the top 10 last year in his championship season, in another championship season for him, I should say, was how many times Donny has already finished outside the top 10 this year. Either that or it was close. I'm pretty sure it was the same number. If I got that wrong, my bad, guys. That's a hole to dig out of. And the only way you do that is getting wins and doing well when Brad doesn't do good or David doesn't do good or Carson Macedo doesn't do good. I feel like it's a 4-horse race.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's interesting to me. Anytime you can say it's a 4-horse race, because seriously, there's not a lot of racing series in the country that you can pick out 4 guys at the midpoint of the year and say that's how many have a legitimate shot at the title.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I still think it's a three-person race right now, but
so you're not counting Donny in as a fan.
Not yet. I love Donny. I mean, I'm wearing a Donny shirt right now.
Yeah.
But
can Vegas win the Cup?
Yeah, they can.
Oh, I'm surprised you said.
But they're a hell of a lot closer than Donny is to winning the championship right now.
All right, that's fair.
I
don't know. I would say both of them are 5 wins away.
Yeah, I doubt that.
It's a stretch, but
it is a stretch.
If Dallas can win the next 3, that only comes more true as the weekend passes.
Yeah,
especially if Donny sweeps Atomic somehow.
If he sweeps Atomic, then he can be in the conversation.
If he sweeps Atomic, should we make Shots Mania shirts?
I would be behind it. I would buy one.
I might just make one anyway.
I think you should.
I've never seen anyone do that. And again, this could be like something that I saw when I was 8 years old, and I'm like thinking about it now. I've never seen a Shots Mania shirt.
I would buy one.
All right. I'll work on it.
All right.
But yeah, loaded weekend. Everyone's in action. I think motocross even kicks off this weekend. So everybody is racing. That's what happens. We talked about the Indiana thing Damon and I were talking to Dominic Selzy about it. The people commenting on our Facebook, like, guys, we did not talk logistics with the World of Outlaws people. We did not talk logistics with the Indiana racetracks. We were simply suggesting that on a surface level, we wish the World of Outlaws were racing in Indiana in a track close remotely to IMS. All we were saying.
Yes. Yep.
I think that's usually what we talk about when we talk scheduling on here. There's always logistics about stuff. There's always, like, did you see Damon, that tweet today from Stafford Speedway saying that they reached out to NASCAR about getting a truck race there? And
I did not see
NASCAR
that.
said they were not interested.
Why wouldn't you be? That's a great speedway. Why wouldn't you be?
So I'm glad you asked. Logistics, you got to understand all of the pit crews are affiliated with a Cup team.
Yeah, but they did it. They've done it before where they do.
I know, but they only have a certain number of standalone races because you got to almost hire in extra help for those races if you're not a team connected to others.
How many standalone truck races do we have anymore?
We got to get Joey. I don't think too many, but we got to get Joey Gase back on here to talk about who he hires for his pit crew.
I think I get it. You got to hire people out, but at the same time, like, get these smaller quote unquote series back to some short tracks. Trucks should be racing on short tracks, in my opinion, anyway. They're a lot of fun to watch on a short track.
And surface level, I would be like, okay, we'll give the Xfinity teams 5% more and the truck teams 5% more and take 10% away from what the Cup series gets in the collective bargaining deal. That's a lot of money moving around. And there's no way for me to justify how that would work for any 3 of those series. But when the top series gets 90 and the second one gets 6 and the third one gets 4, you're kind of sitting there like, what the hell? But again, all of this is logistically, there's stuff we aren't looking at and there's stuff you aren't looking at. And obviously we're going to try to make the most sense of that for people listening to us, for people reading our stuff. But at the end of the day, there's a reason it is how it is right now on a lot of these deals. Wish we could fix it, But
I can guarantee you there is not a single person listening that jumped on here thinking that we were going to be the logical ones. So I don't think
there's probably not one that was looking for an answer to the collective bargaining debate going on in NASCAR right now either.
Yeah.
I am interested that seems to have kind of stalled out momentum-wise too.
Yeah.
Seems like the TV deal is figured out, but the teams are the charter debate is what's hot now.
Yep. Conversation for another day because we could go on and on and on about it.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're good. Josh, are you good?
Yeah.
Josh, don't say crotch out to the camera like that. The YouTube people are going to can't be doing that.
I mean, it's not out. I got a blanket on. We're chilling.
That's a blanket. I just wondering what kind of pants he was wearing for the past 15 minutes.
They look kind of comfortable, though.
They look like comfortable pants.
Oh, all right.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Appreciate it. Check out the Always Race Day YouTube if you haven't. Go buy a shirt if you want one. We got some that say late models suck. We've got some that are not necessarily offensive to one subsection of the dirt racing community. They're on our pinned tweet on Twitter. They're at our website too. Just check that out. Let us know what you think. Comment on here, comment on YouTube, comment to our Twitter what you want to see, what you want to hear us talk about, and we'll be with you all weekend. It's going to be a damn fun weekend, kickoff of summer. Let's go watch a damn Indy 500, finally. Appreciate you guys.